Woo! Hey, hold on, let me just make sure. Woo! Yeah, I'm gonna turn off my volume. Okay. Um, that's funny. Yes! I feel like it has been ages since I was last on here live with you guys. Like, I feel like it has been so long, so much has happened since I gave that like life update, like how I almost got evicted. And I wish I had done this December update then, but it's all fine. It's obviously correct for me to do right now, halfway through the month, because it's exciting. I'm lit up to do it, which is my sacral saying, yes, like it's time. So here I am, whether you're watching me live on YouTube or watching the live replay on YouTube or you're listening to the podcast, welcome. I'm so excited to share the energy of December with you. I know it really well now because as I was saying to you guys, I believe I was in the November energy update, I was saying how I wanted to do a deeper horoscope for each zodiac sign for the month. And what ended up happening, the idea that came to me was to do this inside of my membership portal. So if you are a member of my Astro HD membership, not only do you have access to probably like 25 hours of classes that I've taught on astrology and human design, but also now that is where my 20 to 30, what did I just say? 20 to 30 minute long horoscopes for each sign will be for each month. So I will give you guys a little sneak peek of that at the end of this video, but the really in-depth with more specific themes and dates, those are living in my Astro HD membership now. So those are a part of the membership. And I'm always adding new features of my membership for like no extra cost. Like the cost will always stay the same, I anticipate. And I'll always just be adding things to it because I want to teach you guys how to read your own charts. Like really, that is my mission. That is I say this all the time. Thankfully, my sun is in gate 24 and I can I have the energy to repeat myself and to like go over and over and over things again, which gate 24 is the gate of returning, which now the North Node is on, I believe. So a lot of us are feeling this energy of just like returning to old things. But not to get off on a tangent, my mission is to teach you all how to read charts on your own and really to teach you how simple it can be when it's broken down in a simple way, which is what I intend to do with all the ways that I teach this material. And my ebooks are the best place to do that, the best place to start. They were created to be a resource guide for you to go over it and over again and again and learn your chart more deeply or the charts of people around you more deeply. And this is something that I teach in my Astro HD school, which is closed right now, but I will be opening it again. Stay tuned. Is how you're going to learn this stuff is by reading charts, and not necessarily professionally, unless that's something you want to do and something that comes to you through your strategy and authority, but reading your own chart and using it really as a guide and using the people around you as well as examples of what certain things, what certain placements, what certain aspects of the chart look like, because everyone in our lives is our teacher. And we can really learn through other people, not only just like how we interact with them, but by looking at their charts. And this is how I've learned. I saw a tweet the other day that said something about astrology is really hard and it takes a really long time to learn. And I don't necessarily agree with that. Like, I feel like it takes as long as you want it to take. And it takes not necessarily a whole lot of, well, it's interesting because there's two different concepts of time that we can talk about in relation to this concept is, are we talking about like length of time, or are we talking about dedicated time? Because I personally have dedicated my time and energy the past 2 years to learning human design, to learning these systems more deeply through my own chart, through reading people's charts professionally, through my friends' charts. Like every time there's something that happens in my life with a friend, or I learn something new, I always not only look at my own chart, but I look at my business partner's chart. I look at the people I'm collaborating with charts. I look at my housemate's chart, I look at my parents' chart. You know, I'm always applying the knowledge to, if I can't apply it to my own chart, other people's charts in my lives. And I think that's the fastest way to learn, and the easiest way to learn is applying this knowledge. And I think it doesn't necessarily take a whole lot of like years, like length of time to learn if you're applying the knowledge as you're learning it. And I feel like the more you just dedicate your like a daily practice to that, you're going to learn it more quickly than someone would if they're just, you know, maybe like going over it once a month or something like that. I don't know if that even makes sense. Like, I feel like my communication has just been weird today. Like, I was at the grocery store and I was ordering from like the butcher section shop or whatever, like at Whole Foods, and I wanted a certain piece. And I was like, I want that piece, but like, other than pointing at it, like, I don't know how to communicate to you like the proximity of that piece from my perspective of how you see it from your I was like, it was like a mental like mind fuck, and I was like, I can't form the words right now to communicate that. So I just had to like cave woman and like point and be like, that's the one I want. It was the weirdest thing. So I feel like right now my communication isn't the best with like explaining things. Maybe I need to have some magnesium, but anyways, I hope that makes sense. I feel like it really isn't something that needs to take a whole lot of time per se, like length of time. It's just about how you're using what you're learning and how much of your time on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, you're committing to learning it. But I feel like, I mean, this is just me speaking from my personal experience, which is all I can speak from. Like, I have picked up human design like incredibly quickly. It really wasn't until, let's see, I probably learned about it in 2018 or 2019, that I was a manifesting generator. That's all I knew from like a podcast. And then in 2020, when I got on the Clubhouse app, people were talking about it. And I was like, oh, I want to ask these people because I don't understand like why it says to wait. Why does it say to wait to respond? I don't get that. Like, what's that about? Like, what am I waiting for? And someone broke it down for me and I was like, oh, okay, that makes more sense. And that was like 2020. No, that was 2021. Like beginning of 2021. And man, time has been so weird lately, y'all. It's Mars retrograde, trining Saturn, really fucking with time. But I really didn't start getting into human design until, like, it hasn't even been 2 years. I say 2 years, but it hasn't. It's been like a year and a half. Well, I guess it has almost been 2 years because it was 2021. I literally, the other day, I was talking to someone about like when something happened and it was in 2020 that the thing happened. And I was like, oh yeah, that was last year. And they're like, it's not 2021, Kelsey. And I was like, oh, fuck. It's almost 2023, shit. But anyways, what I'm just trying to say is that you don't necessarily need a whole, and you know, it's like, it doesn't have to be overwhelming. It doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to take a whole lot of time. It's just about one, who you're learning from. If you're learning from Raw, yeah, or anyone in the International Human Design School, yeah, it's going to take a really long time to learn human design, because they haven't broken any of the information down in a way that's simple and digestible. It's just kind of like been regurgitated from Raw, and he talked in a very, like, he was a baby boomer. Like he had a very different vocabulary than what we have today. And the way he spoke about things, like, unless you have a very intellectual, academic background, it's really hard to understand him. So yes, if you're, again, it just depends on like who you're learning from, how much time you're dedicating. But again, my mission is to make it really simple, to make it really easy, to make it really practical, to bring information to you in a way that's digestible so that you can actually learn it and apply it and not have to like spend so much time. Because we don't have that much time to spend. Like, this system was brought to us so that we could learn how to use it before 2027, when the evolution takes place, or the evolution starts to take place. But anyways, I'm not going to get into that in this video. All this to say that if you want to learn human design and astrology from me, the best place to do it is in my membership, because everyone that's a member also gets 20% off of my ebooks, which again, like I said, are your go-to guides for reading your charts or reading the charts of anyone else. They're really like, you're just like a resource in reading charts, especially when it comes to human design. And then my classes and my membership go deeper into the concepts and into specific things like the sleep chart and relationship compatibility and determination, cognition, environment. I just posted an environment class in there that goes pretty deep into how to align with your ideal environment and find your right environment and what that means for you. Like environment and determination are the two most important things in aligning with your human design. Anything else I wanted to just update you guys on? I don't think so. And then, like I said, the lengthy in-depth horoscopes for each zodiac sign based on your rising sign are in the membership as well. They're about 20 to 35 minutes, depending on which sign we're talking about. But yeah, I did 12 of them. So I now know the energy of December very well, and I'm very prepared, and I will be creating those and posting them before the month started. Like I got almost all of the ones done for December before the 1st. So that is what you have to look forward to for January. If you are a member or you feels good to become a member and have access to my deeper horoscopes. But this will just be a broad, generalized energy update, collective update for December. So let's get into it. And then I'm going to give you guys a sneak peek into January too, because it just took me so long to do this, because I have been, it says life update in the title of this, and I really didn't give you guys much of a life update yet. I gave you like a business update, kind of. But life update is like, I'm moving again. Probably end of January, before February, because I realized I don't actually like my housemate. It's not working out great. And this is the energy of electromagnetic channels. I talk about this in my relationship compatibility class. It's like 2 hours long in the Astro HD membership. Like electromagnetic channels, like you think they are good, right? Because they attract people together. They're like a magnet. They're like magnetizing. But also what that creates is this like polarization of that energy. So it's like, it's really good. You're really vibing with the person. And then all of a sudden there's like a switch, and that attraction turns to annoyance and turns to, it's literally like the energy of like love or hate, and the like oscillation between love, hate, a hot, cold energy. And I just didn't like, this is totally 1-3 of me, and also manifesting generator of me, to just like move really quickly into something, even though I didn't like take time. And I also allowed myself, like looking back in hindsight, I allowed myself to be pressured by the defined roots in my life of like, you need to get out of this situation, you need to move now, like, well, you don't want to get evicted. Meanwhile, it probably, looking back, would have been best for me to just stay in that place and like let myself get evicted, because this place, while it seemed great, right, electromagnetic energy, it seemed great for the first 2 weeks, shit hit the fan, and all of a sudden it was like incredibly stressful. I don't even want to like talk to my housemate. Like he's just like completely disrespectful, completely just like has narcissistic tendencies, completely just like avoidant behavior, doesn't communicate. And then when he does, it's just like he tries to start fights or like conflict over things. And it's just like really petty and immature behavior. And I'm just like, should have looked at that chart a little bit harder before I decided to move in here. But that's the thing with electromagnetic channels as well, that you create with someone. It's like, they cloud things. They are foggy, right? They just like create this haze of attraction and love. And this, in the relationship compatibility class in the membership, I used Courtney and Travis as an example, and they have a lot of electromagnetic channels, and you can just see this in their relationship. Like they're super lovey-dovey, they're super just like overly like attracted to each other and overly like it's just like over the top, right? That comes crashing down when reality hits and that kind of like honeymoon energy fades. So that's what happened in my living situation. And that's where I've been for the past 2 weeks, is just avoiding my house. And I'm caves environment. Like I need to be in my fucking cave. Like it is not great for me to be out in the world all the time. But because of the situation, I haven't really been here a whole lot. So I haven't been able to have the time and the space and the energy to create things from my cave and be observed by you guys from my cave, which is like what is correct for me. And I moved in here with the understanding that he wouldn't be here a lot, that I would have the place to myself. And that was just has not been the case as much as he had like made it to seem like it would be. So anyways, it's just all compounded on each other, compounded like a volcano. It's just like boom, 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 eruption. And like, okay, I'm gonna look into like I'm not gonna be here past January. Like I'm gonna look into other places. So we'll see. I don't know. I really desire to live alone, or at least in a bigger house. It's just, gosh, I was just like willing to put myself out there and like try and live with someone again. And it's just like, I don't think I can do it. Like, I really don't. And I think it's not healthy for me to try and force that, but also like the economic situation that we're in, it's just wild. But anyways, that's a life update. I'm learning so much about myself. I'm learning so much about compatibility. I'm learning so much about electromagnetic channels. I'm learning so much about emotional waves because he is an emotional authority with the 4130 channel. I'm learning so much about that channel, which for like most of my human design research has felt elusive to me, the 4130, but I'm learning so much about it from him. And just some other people in my life too that I've realized that have it. And seeing like the similarities there. And I'm just, it's all a learning opportunity. I have a 1-3 profile. Like that's what I'm here to do, is make mistakes and learn. Follow my face over and over and over and learn how to step on the sidewalk differently so that I don't trip and follow my face. So I'm a living example of that. Okay, December. Oh my gosh. So that full moon was intense as hell. Because it was conjunct Mars. Let me pull up actually my Astro Gold here. You guys ask me all the time what I use to look up the transits and charts, and it's Astro Gold. It's the best. It's worth 200% worth the investment. I literally cannot look at any other website's astrology chart except Astro-charts, but even Astro-charts is like not accurate. So I recommend Astro Gold. It's the best. Taurus, South Node in Taurus, Mercury in Taurus, like quality is my middle name. And Astro Gold is quality. The app, the computer program, it's the best. Okay, so that full moon, conjunct Mars, it was intense. I honestly feel like the energy lasted until like the beginning of this week, and there was so much aggression. There was so much like conflict, and also it moved into this full moon occurred in gate 35 when Mars moved there the day before the full moon, which we have Neptune in gate 36. So we have had I wonder if I can pull up on here, because I really love giving you guys visuals. This is what I love about my classes. Oh, I don't know that I can pull up the current transits on this. I need to find a human design chart calculator that levels. I guess I could use my website. that levels the astro gold for astrology. Because I want to give you guys visuals. And like I said, that's really what I love about my classes, is that it's not just me talking to you guys. I'm like, there's PowerPoint slides, there's visuals, there's literal examples from charts. Okay. So hopefully this looks okay for you guys. This is the current transits. This is on my website. If you go to astrologyhumandesign.com, free human design chart, before you type anything in, and also this is new, it will save the information that you type in. It will show you the current transits as they are right now. So I'm just going to use this, and I'm working on getting it so you can like move this around and look at other dates and things too, coming soon. So stay tuned for that. They're always adding new features to this. And then I don't know if you guys saw, but I also have a blog post on relationship compatibility, and you can actually create relationship charts through my website now too, this chart feature. You just have to type in one person's information, and then you can hit, there's a thing at the top that says create new relationship chart, I believe. I have a video walkthrough on that blog post as well, if you guys want a visual. Because us right brains, we need it. Okay, so these are the current transits. And as you can see, we have this emotional wave in transit 35, 36. Neptune has been in 36 for a while. So if you have hanging gate 35, this has created an emotional channel for you. And if you're wondering why we've all felt so emotionally reactive, and there's just been so much like chaos and emotional like volatility of chaos, like I don't know if that's the right word, just like volatile emotional reactions, and people just like spewing shit. Like there's been so many like arguments on my Twitter page. There's been so many like arguments on my TikTok page. There's been just so much like emotionally reactive chatter. It's wild. And I was like, wait, what is going on? And of course, naturally, the channel of chaos is in transit. And none of this is bad. I am not the person, Sag Moon, I'm the optimist here. Like, I am not the person to be like, doomsday, this is bad. This is like bad. Like, none of it is bad. It's just how you handle it. But if you're wondering why there's been so much chaos in the world and in your own life and in your own process that may be causing you to feel unclear about your own authority, this is why, because we're all operating as emotionals right now. Like 100% of the population is operating as an emotional authority. That doesn't mean your authority is now emotional. That's not what that means. Your authority and strategy is always, always, always your authority and strategy. But this is going to kind of create like some rocks in the water, causing some ripples, right? It's just going to create things not feeling as clear. And like I said, going to cause this like feeling of not being able to like have as much instantaneous knowing of your authority. Like it's going to create this emotional fogginess, right? So that's why you've been feeling this. If you've been feeling that, let me know in the comments how this has been showing up for you, because it's just, I see it everywhere. Like everywhere I go, it's just like there's just like chaos, and it's not necessarily like so apparent like a movie would be, like a doomsday movie, but it's like you can just see it in people's energy, especially those of us who are unemotionals, non-emotionals like myself, undefined or open solar plexus. We're not used to feeling emotional waves like this. So this is causing a huge ripple and like just wave. Like literally it's like the ocean was just all of a sudden, it was like super calm and just clear and great, and then all of a sudden now there's like these huge ass waves crashing. You're just like, whoa, what's going on? Like but emotional authorities, you guys might not even feel this as much or intensely, especially if you have this as your emotional authority channel. You're used to this energy, which arguably makes it easier to deal with. But for those of us who don't normally have this, kind of just creating that feeling of like, I don't know what the right word is for that, like muddiness, cloudiness, unclearness. I don't know. And this will last until the 22nd of December. So that is one of the major human design transits of this month. We did just have the 4426 channel in transit as well, because the sun, I believe, what was in 26? Something was just, oh, let me look here. Yeah, the sun was in 26 from the 9th until the literally today. It just moved yesterday. And that was kind of creating this like feeling of bringing up things from the past to transmute them, to transform them. I mean, we still kind of have that energy with the South Node being in gate 44 now. This is the season of life that we're in now as a collective. This is the 24 and the 44 with the nodes there. I'm gonna plug in my laptop so that it doesn't die. I'm getting better at informing y'all. I've been doing so much research and experimentation with the 2034 channel and just learning how deeply important it is for me as a manifesting generator with the 2034 channel to inform. And I mean, it's just not like, you don't find that information anywhere, but I'm realizing like, oh, wow, this channel really does create the effect of like manifestor energy. Anyways, that's a whole other video and episode for a whole other day. But so we just had this, the channel of the entrepreneur was just in transit, which if any of you guys have like wanted to start a business or feeling like starting a business, actually was hired by a new client who is hiring me to help her build her business, her website, build a store, build a funnel, build all of these things that I have built for myself in my business. And of course, it happened when this channel was in transit. This channel was in transit from the 9th. I think I already said this, the 9th to the 14th. So if any of you guys like were getting ideas around a business or taking moves to start one, like totally great time for that. Not saying that it's not to do that anytime, but that was an especially good time to do that. Okay, so let's look at some important dates in astrology, because this is really what I cover the majority of in the in-depth horoscopes that I did in the membership. And you'll ask me all the time what I use. I use the Magic of Eye Planner for astrology transits because it gives you, I want to keep this up, but I also, okay, I'm bouncing around everywhere like a Manny Jen on steroids. But so what I use to look at the transits every month, and this is like my actual planner as well for myself, like it has a weekly kind of view of the transits as well as like an overview of each month, and then a calendar. It's really, really great. I've been using it for a few years and I just love it. I have a link to this planner in the show notes and in the description box of this video or podcast. And you can also use my code to get a little discount for the planner for 2023. I got the Sage color. It's limited edition and it is beautiful. It's like this beautiful green color. I've had the white one before. I had the white one last year and it got kind of dirty. So then I got the black one, but I really love the limited edition colors they do. Anyways, so I do love the white as well though. On the 3rd, we also had Neptune stationing direct. So if any of y'all have been feeling just like kind of intense and vivid dreams and more attunement to your intuition, this is why. That also might feel like you've had more clarity over your emotions or just like certain insights. And that began on the 3rd. And then on the 6th, we had Mercury entering Capricorn. So a lot of us are just becoming more grounded and more foundational with our communication. And we also have an upcoming Mercury retrograde that starts on the 29th. So depending on where Mercury is transiting in your chart right now, where you have Capricorn, that area of your life is going to go through like in activation. Like there's going to be a mental focus around that area of your life and around structuring it, around having more of a firm foundation there, around creating a plan, a mental or like written plan for that area of your life and the changes you want to make there, because we have Pluto there as well. So there's just a lot of transformation happening in this area of life for you. And I go, like I said, I go more deeply into that in the horoscopes and the membership. But this Mercury retrograde is going to be going on from the 29th until the 18th of January. So from that time, whatever changes you're making or whatever is becoming more of there's more communication around, there's more of a mental focus around this area of your life, it is going to go through a kind of slow down period during the retrograde. So for me, Capricorn rules my 4th house. And when Mercury went into Capricorn and entered my 4th house, there was more communication with my housemate about like, okay, I'm moving. I'm not going to live here anymore. Use my security deposit for next month's rent. That kind of thing. Like, hey, I'm getting my own, like I'm isolating all of my things from the main area of the house because it just feels like he has this kind of entitlement sense and like disrespect of like not like just thinking that because my things are out in the shared space that they're his to use. And I really don't like that. And I don't like that there's no communication around that. And whenever I bring it up, there's just like this emotional volatility and reaction. So I've just like boundaries, all my stuff's in my room now. So that literally started happening around the 6th. And with this Mercury retrograde, what I'm prophesizing is I'm making intentions to move, right? To change my home. But I'm not going to do that during this Mercury retrograde. I am not going to make any decisions. I'm not going to sign any leases. I'm not going to say, yes, I'm moving into this place. I'm not going to like I'll put feelers out there, which I have been doing, but I'm not going to make any decisions during the retrograde because things won't be clear until after the retrograde and things won't move forward until after the retrograde either. And knowing that is just bringing me such relief and like relief from like stress or worry about it, because I mean, honestly, I've just been through this so many times. I have Uranus in my 4th house. Like there's always just sudden, unexpected, chaotic changes when it comes to my home and living situations that it's like, okay, I just trust. And also knowing that this Mercury retrograde transit is going to be in my 4th house of home. It's like, okay, probably not going to come through, probably not going to happen, probably not going to move or have a place to move into until after the retrograde period. So I wanted to bring that up because that's one of the highlight transits of January as well as the Mercury retrograde. And then we also, I mean, there's just so much Capricorn energy right now as we're gearing up towards Capricorn season. And then we had Mercury enter Capricorn on the 6th. We have Venus entering Capricorn on the 9th. And all of the gates in Capricorn in human design are in the quarter of mutation. So Capricorn energy is really about transforming, especially with Pluto here right now. And most of them being in the root center too. It's like, this is all about transforming and changing anything that's not on solid ground, anything that's not foundational, that's not as structured as you want it to be, as it could be. Like, I mean, we've had Pluto in, as you can see here, we've had Pluto in gate 60, which is all about contraction, right? All about knowing when it's time to say, I don't have the energy for this, preserve your energy, like what I did the past 2 weeks. And knowing when, okay, the pulse is on, I do have the energy for this. Because that's how the root center operates. It's a pulse. It's either on or it's off. And it's so important to know when you're on versus when you're off. They also call gate 60 the gate of limitation, but I really see it as like knowing your limitations and knowing when you need to like slow down, stop, recharge, reassess, bring your energy back in. And that's kind of and also a major theme of what we're going through as a collective as well, in alignment with, or in accordance with rather, the nodal shift we just had that took place on the, when did that happen? Let me see. Oh, that happened before December. Yeah, that happened on the 27th of November. We had the nodal shift change. So if you've just been feeling like a lot of things are coming up from your past, this is why, because of this nodal shift. The gate 24 is the gate of returning. This is my life's work. And the gene keys, this is where my sun is on the conscious side. And Taurus, it's about returning, repeating, going back to the old, or going back to something to look at it in a new way, or to restart something that you maybe had put on the back burner, right? This is the direction we're moving into as a collective. 44 is about the past. And with the South Node there, it's about releasing the past, releasing the old, really, so we can step into the new in a new, innovative way. A lot of us, like I said, are going to be starting businesses around this time, especially if you have 26 hanging and you don't have 44. Like, this is a great time to start a business, or just to put your ideas out there, put your intuitive hits, your splenic hits out there, and create products, create offers that are going to help people, that are going to move us forward as a collective in a new direction. You know, I do the life purpose readings, and this is kind of like the overarching theme of most of them, is like, share your gifts. You know, it's time to share your gifts. It's time to, if it resonates with you, stop working for other people and start to create your own job, because there is really no job security working for someone else. That is the main reason I moved around so many times as a kid, because my dad was constantly getting laid off, companies were closing, you know, and that's like the times that we're in again. Like, it's not going to slow down, it's not going to stop. So if you can create your own kind of job security through a side hustle, or through a literal business, through entrepreneurship, like coming up with other ways to create money, it's really going to serve you well during this time that we're in, and moving forward into the next year as well, and the rest of your life. Because of a lot of us too that start businesses aren't just creating jobs for ourselves, we're creating jobs for other people, which is really what our economy needs right now. There's something else. Oh, I realized too that a lot of my horoscopes that I did for the membership are geared around entrepreneurs, like geared around people that, if you don't identify yourself as an entrepreneur yet, that want to be an entrepreneur, that want to have a business, that want to use your unique gifts to create something from it. And that's like kind of the season of life we'll be in. I don't know when exactly the nodes will shift again. I think probably in a few months, maybe March or April, maybe even end of February, early March is when the nodes will shift again. But this is kind of the season we're in right now of life. Okay, I'm glad that just got brought up naturally again, because I did want to go back to that and talk more about that for you guys. I mean, we still have Uranus in gate 2, which is the seat of the driver. So it's like, what direction are you headed? And like, how can you make changes to move in the direction that you've been wanting to go? Okay, so last I was talking about in terms of like the astrology of December, Venus enters Capricorn on the 9th. We just had Mercury square Chiron, which makes so much sense as to the conversation I had with my roommate yesterday. It was just like this just conflict. It was just like butting heads, which is like what squares kind of create, challenges between our communication and our healing. A challenge between communication in the mind or outwardly that prompts for healing. Like this conversation that I had with my roommate yesterday really prompted me to see how people use words at certain times and ask certain questions at certain times to manipulate and to gaslight. And it was just made so clear to me last night through this like conflict that we had. And that was the energy of yesterday. Also yesterday felt a little foggy with the Sun square Neptune transit we had. That is just so hilarious to me. Like, astrology don't lie, y'all. Like, literally literally like right before this transit like peaked is when that happened. It still blows my mind. Like I've been doing this for years and it still blows my mind every time. So on the 17th, we have Mercury trining Uranus. So there will just be some harmonious thing that happens between our communication or in our mind, mental space, our mental focus, our beliefs, our thoughts, that will create the sudden and unexpected change that we've been wanting to make externally. Because is Uranus still retrograde? I think Uranus goes, here, let me share my astrology chart now. Yes, Uranus goes direct, I believe, in January. If y'all could see how many things I have open in front of me right now, it's like chaos, which is perfect for describing Uranus. Oh, Uranus, we love you. Yeah, Uranus stations direct on the 22nd of January. So this is going to be internal for a lot of us. This is going to be maybe like a conversation happens in your life that prompts for you to internally change something about how you've been making money or how you've been relating to your material possessions or something like that. That's going to happen on the 17th. And then on the 19th, we have some aspects with Venus and Mars to Chiron, which will prompt for further healing. When I did the December updates for each rising sign too, it was like very clear to me that December is really a month of healing, really a month of like not only making changes to our structure and our foundation so that we can move forward in a new way, but so that we can heal from the patterns that have been running the show in our lives so that we don't keep repeating them. And so that we don't take them with us into 2023, right? We're closing out this month. We're closing out a Venus year. 2022 has been a Venus focused year. It's been all about Venus, finances, relationships, romantic relationships, friendships, money, jobs, career, like everything to do with Venus, values, self-worth, possessions, like has been a huge focus of this year. And we're closing that out with with Venus conjunct Pluto is how this year ends and how the new year begins. I believe the exact date of this is, oh wow, it's not even in this book. Wait. Oh wow, that's crazy. I'm so surprised that this book doesn't mention that. So this planner is not perfect. Maybe they just missed this one. But as you can see, on the 31st, Venus will be conjunct Pluto. So this is a big energy of like close the fucking chapter on that relationship, on that way of making money, on that belief around money, on that relationship with money, on that friendship, on that whatever, like close the chapter so that you don't take it with you into 2023 and that you leave it behind. You transform it, you transmute it, you let it die, you host a funeral for it, and a new relationship, friendship, way of making money, career, image around your self-worth, around your values can be birthed, can be embodied, right? We only have so much space energetically for things in our lives. And if we don't let go of the old, if we don't let go of what we know intuitively is not meant for us, we won't have space for the new to come in. And the old will just keep repeating itself on the same old story. You know, that saying, it's like same shit, different day or whatever. Like this is time to like let that shit, like bury that shit, like hold a funeral for it, like rest in peace, like burn it up so that you don't take it with you into 2023. I almost said 2021. What the hell is it with the 2021 like energy? Why are you coming back? No, I know why. It's because, like I said, the past is making a reappearance so that we learn from it, so that we actually learn how to move forward in a new way and we don't have to repeat those same things. You know, people talk about soul contracts. Oh, I have a soul contract. No, you don't. Like, you don't. Like, you don't have to. If you say you do, sure, then you do. You don't have to, though. You get to choose what type of life you want to have. You get to choose what type of people are around you, and you choose that by acting. You choose that by letting go of the people that aren't meant to be in your life, or that you don't like, that don't embody the type of life you want to have. It's not a matter of like, oh, a contract. No, like it's a matter of what do you want, and taking action towards what you want versus just settling for what isn't serving you. Like we all have free will. And then on the 20th, we have Jupiter going into Aries again, which I'm so excited about. I feel like I talked about this on my Twitter was it yesterday? I don't know. I talked about this on my Twitter recently on how the last transit of Jupiter into Pisces has really been kind of teaching everyone a lesson of like being sober or lessening their substance use, like not drinking, like cutting out alcohol or cutting out weed. Like for myself, it's been like cutting out weed. Like I used to be a heavy weed smoker for like most of my life. I have been like more than half of my life. And this, I was just like, I don't want to do that anymore. Like, I just don't identify as someone who does that anymore. Like I don't like how it makes me feel. It makes me feel indecisive. It makes me feel like insecure. It's like, I don't like it. My energy is not as potent. I don't like have the motivation to do things. Like, I just feel like, this whole like, stereotype of it makes you lazy, and like, which I think it can be really helpful in small doses using discernment, because it is really like truly a psychedelic. And I've realized that the many breaks I've taken from weed, like when I go back to it, I'm like, oh, like, whoa, this is revealing something to me that I was not aware of as a sober, conscious person. Like that's what psychedelics do. And I think I just got so numbed out to that because I used it so much that it was like, it just created this feeling of like insecurity, of indecision. Like I just realized it like short circuited me. It made it so hard to like do things and make decisions and like be secure and like confident in myself. And like, anyways, that's my journey with it. Maybe I'll do a whole video about that. But I really feel like this last transit of Jupiter to Pisces again has taught a lot of people that, like how to not, like how to break yourself out of the fog. And Pisces rules drugs, Pisces rules substances, and Jupiter rules our expansion, our optimism. And it's like a lot of us have been deluding ourselves or like illusioning ourselves from our true abundance, our true expansion with substances. And I feel like it showed up for a lot of people in like wanting to cut that out. Because Jupiter won't be in Pisces again for 12 more years. So this is really kind of the lesson I feel like as a collective we're learning from it. So yeah, Jupiter goes into Aries on the 20th. That will be like a reoccurrence of what happened back in May, late May, June, July, in that area of your life, wherever you have Aries. And will be an expansion there. An expansion as well, and bravery, currents, confidence, courage. I just try to combine confidence and courage. And an expansion in like our ability to take action towards the things we want to create. Take action towards your expansion, take action towards your abundance, take action towards your optimism, is what I feel like this last transit of Jupiter to Aries for a while will be like. And I was looking ahead the other day. I told y'all I've been avoiding my house when my roommate is here. And I was at this coffee shop and I just like took some random books to read and like I took my 2023 planner and was looking ahead of the transits for 2023 and like looking at every month, looking at just, what's going on and when, looking at the moon cycles, the full moons, the new moons, the eclipses. And I just got so excited for 2023. So I'm really excited to dive deeper because I only really looked at the first half of 2023. And I'm going to dive deeper into the last 6 months of the year ahead. And then I will be doing a video like this for 2023 as well. Yeah, so stay tuned for that. Subscribe if you're not already. And then on the 22nd the 21st, sorry, we have the sun entering Capricorn. Will be more of a focus on what area you have Capricorn ruling in your chart, what house. A lot of us too will be feeling like just more, like I feel like Sagittarius season has really been a lot of learning, a lot of experiencing life, a lot of like social interactions too. But Capricorn season is going to bring this like, okay, it's time to get serious about making these changes I've wanted to make to my structure, to my foundation. It's time to like put in the work. It's time to like be disciplined. It's time to be committed. Like Sagittarius is like, oh, learning, fun, philosophizing with people, connections, meeting people. Oh my God, fun, fun, fun. And Capricorn's like, all right, it's time to get serious now. You had your fun. Now it's time to get serious towards doing that thing you wanted to do, or working towards that goal, like, right, like Saturn energy, like putting in the work for long-term payoffs. On the 23rd of December, we have a new moon in Capricorn. Then on that day as well, Chiron stations direct. So this is kind of too what I saw for December, of like it being this month of healing, because the new moon in Capricorn is going to bring new beginnings, new intentions, right? Around our discipline, around our commitments, around our structure, around our foundation. And Chiron going direct on that day, it's like, let's see what time. That's 1:30 Pacific. The new moon, oh, it's about 12 hours before Chiron goes direct. So it's like, okay, what new intentions are you setting? What new beginnings? And then Chiron goes direct 12 hours later, asking you to externalize the healing journey that you've been on, asking you to, this is also going to bring about, with Jupiter being in Aries, with Chiron going direct in Aries, it's going to bring about a renewed, reinvigorated sense of courage, of bravery, of taking action. Like this is the energy of Aries, is how can you just do that thing and not ask questions, not ask, does it make sense? Is it logical? Blah, 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 like live from the mind, but live from the body. And like, I want to do this, I'm going to do it kind of energy. And we've been on such a healing journey around that. We've been on such a healing journey with Chiron being retrograde, of what ways, like reflecting on that, right? What ways have I avoided taking action? What ways have I made excuses for myself to not take action, or to not do this thing, or to not put myself out there? Like what ways have I been doing that and kind of being the person that's in my way in terms of that? And what thoughts, what beliefs are contributing to that way of being, and how can I shift it to move forward in a new way and actually heal it, right? And then, like I already said, we have the Mercury retrograde starting on the 29th. So I've already mentioned that, but that will be just a kind of slowing down in the area of life. You have Capricorn ruling, slowing down of a mental focus, of communication around that area of life, so that you can reflect and reassess, make any internal changes, or just have that time to like not act on a decision prematurely, but have the time to reflect and check in and be introspective, maybe shift some beliefs around, shift some thought patterns around that area of the life you have this transiting, so that when it does go direct on the 18th, you can move forward in a new way, with new thoughts, with new beliefs, and make that change that you've wanted to in that area of your life. For me, it will be my home, like I've already talked about. And I'm really excited to just know about this, because it's really not until this year that I've studied the transits like profusely and really lived them. And then they've taught me so much this past year from doing that. And like looking back, I think I talked about this in my podcast on almost getting evicted. Looking back on the Mercury retrograde that happened in Gemini, like had I been like not so stubborn, but again, it's like I have to learn through experience. I'm a 1-3 profile. Like, shit, I got to do it and make the mistake and learn. Oh shit, shouldn't have done that way. I'm going to do it differently this time. So that's really what the Mercury retrogrades have taught me a lot too, is like, okay, like let's actually use this to slow down. Like, don't just think you can like push forward and push through the energy. Like, oh, it doesn't matter, I'm signing a contract during Mercury retrograde. It kind of does. Like, I almost got evicted. Like, it probably wasn't correct for me to re-sign that lease. Like, it would have been best had I waited for the fog to clear from the retrograde. And then probably, who knows, because I can't change the past, but like not signed, not re-signed, and then moved out when my lease had ended and then found a place. Anyways, doesn't help to theorize about what could have happened because it's not what happened. But I learned from that experience, and it's taught me to move forward in alignment with like, okay, let's just try out not making any major decisions or changes and sign any contracts during Mercury retrograde and see what happens. Like, let's trust that the stars and the planets are trying to tell me something and it's about divine timing, and I really don't have any control over the divine timing. And it's all going to work out in the best way for me and my highest good and the highest good of everyone involved by using this as a way to be aware of this, to not force or rush something, which my undefined root tends to want to do. Be free of the pressure, rush, 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 get it done, be free of the pressure. No, I'm not gonna. But we're all at our different stages of learning this stuff. We're all at our different stages of our experiment, and this is where I'm at in mine. So yeah. Okay, let me give you guys a sneak peek of January. So what I feel like January really is like after this Mercury retrograde, I feel like January is a really big month of introspection. Because of this Mercury retrograde, it's like not making any sudden changes or moves, but just kind of reflecting on them and how you want to make them. And then after Mercury goes direct, it's like go time. And I feel like February, March, and April are going to be really big months to just like go, 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 like kind of how it was this past year, except March was like really tiring. But like, yeah, I feel like most of January isn't really a month to take action until towards the end. But again, don't listen to me for the end all be all. Listen to your strategy and authority because that's what's correct for you. But that's the vibe I'm picking up from January. We have a full moon in Cancer on the 6th, which, I just noticing a little bit more errors in this planner, but that's okay. Nobody's perfect. Nothing's perfect. I do love this thing regardless. Which I feel like the full moon in Cancer will be on the 6th of January. It will be about like kind of healing and manifesting a new relationship with like feminine energy, with our own feminine energy, with our own ability to like allow ourselves to rest and not force ourselves to do out of like fear or out of pressure or out of scarcity, but to take inspired action, listening to our intuition and using our intuition to guide us, right, in our strategy and authority, because that's what's telling us, yes, it's the correct time to do this. Like if I had pressured myself to do this energy update for you guys any time before today, it would have been so shitty. It would have been like, I'm miserable and I hate everyone, kind of energy, because like that's where I was. And I was not about to pressure myself to do it, to conform to like normal timeframes of when an energy update should be out, right? I was like, you know what? It's all divine. Like I'll do it when I have the energy for it and it will work out. Here I am. And it's like, I also wanted to wait until I was in my own energy and not in the aura of someone else or the combined aura of me and someone else. But anyways, so January, the full moon in Cancer will be just kind of learning around how to operate more in flow, how to really honor the needs of our body and not make ourselves or should ourselves or pressure ourselves to do things that really just, it's not the right timing for. So more too of a lesson how to operate in alignment with divine timing. And then we have the new moon in Aquarius on January 21st. Let me look at what else is going on. Okay, nothing else is going on the 6th. Nothing else really is going on the 21st either, besides the new moon. So that will be setting intentions around, I feel like, bringing in a new community. I feel so many of us have really let go of a lot of old friendships, romantic relationships this past year. Like I said earlier, with it being a Venus year, like we're closing the chapter on all of those things because we have a new sense of self-worth and a new value system that we're not willing to settle anything less for or over. And this new moon in Aquarius will be like, okay, time to call in that new community, new time to call in my tribe, time to call in empowering, inspiring friends and romantic connections that are going to empower and inspire me to be the best version of me, to share my gifts with the collective, to serve humanity, is what I'm feeling around this new moon. And it's like setting intentions around all of that, having a new beginning around all of that, so that you can actually like have the support to be able to do that. Like community is everything. I think a lot of us realized this during the pandemic, during the lockdowns. It was like, shit, being alone kind of sucks. Like it's great at first, and it's like, but having friends that like really get you and really understand you and really are like your same kind of weird, right? Like Aquarius energy is so impactful, and it's so important for long-term health and longevity. So, and also like having people around you that are either like doing what you want to do, have been where you want to go, that kind of thing, where it's like you can't learn how to have a successful business if you don't have an inspiration from people who have done that, right? It's like you don't know that it's even possible because the people around you haven't done that before, or don't know how to, or don't want to do that, or don't like even know it's possible, right? So it's like you have to surround yourself with people who are doing what you're doing, have been where you want to go. It's like otherwise your subconscious doesn't think it's possible and doesn't think you can. So that is that's a little sneak peek of January. I will probably do the full January update pretty soon here because I have my place to myself until the 3rd of January. So I'm incredibly excited for that. And we'll be doing so much content creation to just like create and then, yeah, not be as vacant from y'all and my community and my creation as I kind of have been for the past 2 weeks. Again, Capricorn energy, like it's like making a plan, setting yourself up for success, like scheduling things. Like I intend to like batch create a bunch of content and then schedule it out so that I don't have to like continually every week be like, okay, what do I need to create and put out now? Like it's like, no, do it all at once, schedule it, and then I don't have to worry about it. And then I can just create. And some of my favorite like and most successful creators do this. Like the videos that you're seeing them post today were probably filmed like 2 months ago. Same with podcasters, like sometimes even 6 months ago, so it's like that's what I'm learning from this Capricorn energy this month is like how to structure myself a little bit better when it comes to content creation so that I can have more consistent content being posted, outputted for you guys. Okay, so I do want to give you guys just a little brief horoscope for each rising sign as a little sneak peek into my full length ones that are in the membership. Let's see here. Let's start with Aries. Okay, Aries Rising. So you guys are really in a big season right now of money. How you want to make money. How can you make more money? How can you invest money? How can you make your money work for you? How can you have more assets versus liabilities, right? Invest, create new funnels, side hustle, that kind of thing is a big focus for you guys. This new moon in Capricorn is in your 10th house on the 23rd. So setting new intentions, a new beginning around your career, around your reputation. What do you want to be known for? Who do you want to be known as? That kind of thing is going to be a major focus on the 23rd of January with that new moon in Capricorn, and really this whole month with everything in Capricorn transiting your 10th house Aries. Okay, Taurus. Big focus on you, Taurus. This is season of life that you're in is you releasing old relationships, releasing old ties to, who you were partnered with, who you were in a literal like marriage with, maybe even it's like a period of either releasing the physical relationships or releasing your mindset around the relationship so that you can learn how to put yourself first and speak your needs more. New moon in Capricorn will be in your 9th house of spirituality, higher education, international travel. So some of you guys might be like setting plans to travel, kind of making your travel schedule for 2023, or going to school to get a certification, going to school to get another degree, going to, and there's some type of learning, maybe even like self-study, self-learning, is a big focus for you guys too, and how you can use what you're learning, maybe even a type of learning you're revisiting, and use that in your career moving forward. So that's December for you, Taurus. Gemini. Lot of changes, Gemini, around your sense of self, maybe even a feeling of just like needing to release a lot of anger, release a lot of frustration, like figure out a movement practice that will allow you to do that without it causing turmoil in your immediate life and your relationships. Big focus of you for December as well, Gemini, is your 8th house, other people's resources. If you're, getting help from family, getting help from friends, or taking out a loan, going into debt so that you can just maybe going into debt to go back to school, going into debt to get a certification, going into debt to hire a coach in a business, to start a business, that kind of thing, is going to be a focus for you in December. Good time to invest, good time to put your money into things that are going to have long-term payoffs, even if in the short term you're like, ooh, debt is not bad. It's just a tool to pay off something over time. And if it has, like, especially like an investment, or if you're going into debt to learn something, learn a skill so that you can make money from it, like that is a huge payoff. And the debt is just like a blip, like an ant on the map of your life, right? There's something, I feel like there's something else I wanted to say, but that, you guys might also be going through just a lot of transformation this month from other people in your life, or because of money, that kind of thing. But like I said, I feel like really the focus is on like other people's resources, utilizing debt, making an investment, that kind of thing. And also figuring out how to, if you have been living so like paycheck to paycheck kind of energy, like learning how to make your money work for you so that you don't have to do that as much, that you have more money to work with, more leeway when it comes to your finances. Or maybe too, even asking support from other people to help you with a financial venture or invest in you and what you're doing, that kind of thing. Okay, Cancer, big focus on your relationships this month, big focus on like who's in your life, maybe entering into a new relationship, a new partnership, maybe moving in with a partner, that kind of thing. Like there's just a big focus on the other people in your life and how you can structure your life to support your relationships. And this is going to come to a peak, a peak around the new moon on the 23rd. That will affect your house of career. So it might be like you meet someone in your workplace, or you meet someone through someone that at work that's going to help you with your career, or that's going to like be a romantic interest for you, that kind of thing. Big just focus on your external life this month, like your career, your relationships, your area of learning, your friends, your long-term goals and visions, and how you can like take action towards all of those things. Okay, Leo, big focus on work, what you're doing for work, work that makes you money, also on your health. There's going to be something that happens around the new moon on the 23rd in your area of your physical body, like your physical health and well-being, as well as your work. So maybe this is like you having more of a work-life balance, you doing more things like scheduling out your work life, scheduling out things like I just mentioned, like batch creating content. If you have your own business of content creation, where that's a big role in what you do, like batching things out, scheduling them out, so you don't have to every day or every week consistently be like doing the same thing, when you could just do it all at once a month or something like that. And that's going to help you cultivate more of a work-life balance, and not only probably bring in more money for yourself and just help you feel better to have that consistency and that foundation, that structure, but also it's going to affect your ability to like have more freedom. Maybe travel more or something like that. So that's what I have for you, Leo. Virgo, new moon in Capricorn in your 5th house of children, of creativity, of passions, of joy. So this month, Virgo, for you is really all about structuring fun. I know it sounds kind of weird, but like structuring yourself time to be creative, to pursue your creative ventures, to pursue things that bring you joy and bring you fulfillment, and make you feel like a little kid again. Like that is going to be a big focus this month, Virgo. And that's like a big part of your healing as well. Did I mention the new moon already? That will come to a kind of heightened just area of focus for you around the new moon. And then this is, for all of you guys, this is where Mercury is retrograding as well in this area that I'm covering with Capricorn. So it's like there will be something that happens, maybe like if you're in a partnership and you want to have kids, like a conversation around that, that will kind of go through this reassessment period during the retrograde. It can also be like some creative venture that you're starting, Virgo, that kind of slows down during the retrograde. So you can just reassess how you want to move forward in a new way, that kind of thing, or just take some other things off your plate so you have more time for this creative venture, that kind of thing. Okay, Libra. I've already spoken to Libras through speaking about my own experience as a Libra rising, but Libras, this is affecting your 4th house, this Capricorn new moon and this Mercury retrograde. So again, maybe you're making a move, maybe you are moving into family, or just having more conversations with family that are really healing, transformative, or maybe make you realize I don't want to live with family again, or I don't want to visit family for the holidays, that kind of thing. There's just a big focus in your home and your family life, as well as any residual healing that needs to occur around those things. And then your relationships as well. So once you have Jupiter going back into your 7th house and Chiron going direct in your 7th house, there's going to be more of an expansion in your relationships with people, the others in your life, calling in a partnership, getting more serious about a partnership, calling in new friends, that kind of thing is going to be a focus last half of December, and then really for most of 2023. Okay. Oh, wait. No, that was right. Okay. Scorpio rising. New moon in Capricorn in your 3rd house of errands, of day-to-day tasks, of communication, as well as like your belief systems, your thought patterns. So big focus on that for you, Scorpio, is like, how am I talking to myself? How am I talking to others? What are my thoughts that are contributing to my beliefs, that are creating my reality? What am I doing in my day-to-day? Do I want to establish a new routine? Do I want to cut this errand out? Do I want to like have more structure around the errands that I run and when? Like maybe only grocery shopping 1 day a week and having like a list and making a plan, that kind of thing. Like just having more structure around your day-to-day tasks and day-to-day life and where you go in your local community. Maybe reaching out to neighbors, just establishing more connections in your community with like where you live. This could also be like reestablishing connections with siblings if you have any, or just setting new intentions around calling in friends that feel like family, or just putting more focus on the friends that you already have in your life that feel like family, like just spending more time and energy, like getting to know and checking in with the friends that you have, like the closest people to you in your life kind of energy is a big focus for you, Scorpio. Lots of healing too around your work, big focus on your relationships. And creativity as well. Okay, Sagittarius, big focus on money for you, Sag, this month. What are some ways you can make money more passively without having to work so hard? What are some ways you can just invest maybe your money to have it like a more well-rounded portfolio is what's coming through. And just have more of a focus be like on not necessarily like a mental focus on your finances, but just having it taken care of so you don't have to worry about it, having more of a solid foundation in your finances, having more trust, and security in your money, and your possessions as well. Maybe getting rid of some stuff or selling some stuff, downsizing could all be focus for you too during December, especially around the time of that new moon, Sagittarius. And then I went more into detail on this in the in-depth horoscope in my membership naturally, but you guys, I feel like, are really ending a cycle with relationships as well, maybe cutting people out, or just talking to certain people less so that you can have more time and space and energy for people that really do inspire you and empower you and feel good to have in your life. Okay, Capricorn, big focus on you this month. Your image, your sense of self, your identity, like it's really just all about you guys. Like you guys are the main character for most of this month and most of January as well. Is like, how are you talking to yourself? How are you what is the image that you're presenting to people? Lots of focus around that, lots of maybe revamping around that too, like being known as, like putting yourself out there to be known as this type of person, or changing how your image on social media, changing your image, like getting a haircut or literally getting better clothes that you feel more abundant and more like yourself, and that kind of energy. It's gonna be all about you, Capricorn, this month and for most of February or January, like I said. Lots of healing taking place in your home, in your family. Big focus too on just setting up a foundation to bring in more money. And also, what creative ventures do you want to pursue, and how do you want to, like, also just a lot of identity work. Like you're stepping into a new identity, and it's like, what does the new you do? What does the new you create? What does the new you say? What does the new you talk about? What is the new you, like, how do they talk to themselves? You know, like, how do they talk about things in their life? Like, how do you, it's, you know, how do you do all these things and a new way that you're moving forward with? All right, Aquarius. This month is all about your spirituality, especially around the time of the new moon in Capricorn and during this Mercury retrograde. It's like, if you had a meditation practice and you fell off, it's like time to get back on that. Time to really be dedicated and committed, and have a structure around your spiritual practices that help you have a greater connection to taking care of your mental health. This might even be like letting go of an addiction, letting go of a tendency to just like doom scroll, or to like maybe substances or anything like that. Like maybe you just like, you reached for wine, or you reached for weed, or you reached for a beer or whatever. And it's like, you're letting that go and you're learning how to, like, in a more healthful way, cope with those triggers that had you reach for those things. And I feel like, again, a lot of you will be taking up a meditation practice, or a yoga practice, just something that really helps you to connect greater to your spirituality, that affects your mental health in a positive, transformative, empowering way. Maybe even doing things to strengthen your relationship with your intuition as well, like getting Reiki certified, or receiving Reiki, or going to a meditation retreat, or going to a yoga retreat, or something like that. It's just going to be a big focus for you guys in the next month and a half. Okay, Pisces, last but not least ever. You guys are really focused on your community this month. You're really focused on your long-term visions, your long-term goals, especially around the time of this new moon in Capricorn on the 23rd. It's like, what vision do you really have? What dream do you really have? Like, how do you want to use your creativity? And it's like about creating more structure around that, having a more of a solid foundation around how you do that, so that you do reach your goal, so that you do make your dream come true, and that you have the support of your community to do that. It's like, people can't help you if you don't even know what you need. So it's like, you're getting more clarity around what support you need, what people you need in your life, that kind of thing. So you can have all the kind of pieces in place to take action and create your long-term goal and your long-term vision for yourself, Pisces. So that is what I have for you guys. That is the energy update of December. Let me know how it resonated. I'd love to hear from you guys. As always, best place to reach me is Instagram. I'm not great at answering emails. I will admit that. I will inform you guys of that. Not the best at answering emails, but I do respond to DMs on Instagram pretty quickly, pending. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. I'll be doing January soon, and the January horoscopes will be posted to the membership soon. And I'll also be doing a 2023 overview soon as well. And yeah, I love you guys. Thanks for being here. It was a pleasure. It was so much fun. And I will see you next time. Bye.